We heartily welcome Maharaj by loudly chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. So let's Bhakti Arjava Maharaj ki jai, Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so then we will continue with the nectar of instruction, and I think we are on the text 7.
Yes, Maharaj.
Right? Yeah, we didn't start that, no? Syat Krishna Nama Charita Disita Pyavidya Pito Patapta Rasanasya Narochikano Kintadara Tanudinam Kalu Saiva Jushta Swadvi Kramad Bhavati Tadgana Mulahantri. The holy name, character, pastimes, and activities of Krishna are all transcendently sweet, like sugar candy. Although the tongue of one afflicted by the jaundice of avidya, ignorance, cannot taste anything sweet, it is wonderful that simply by carefully chanting these sweet names every day, a natural relish awakens within his tongue, and his disease is gradually destroyed at the root. It's a nice verse. It just shows us that the process of devotional service is gradual. No, there is no. It may be quick for someone, those who are willing to take it, but it may be slow and gradual for others, those who are maybe not as dedicated, can say. But nonetheless, it works for all. And eventually, everybody gets purified. And like we talked before, I mean, the only thing which the jiva can do is to control its desire. So our life should be all about that we should develop the desire to serve Krishna. That's all. This much. If we can do this much, then we will be able to go back to Krishna in this lifetime. So here in this verse, it's very nicely actually explained. So same like when person had jaundice. So one way of treatment, of treating the jaundice is by mishri. And when the person actually has the jaundice, then mishri tastes bitter. So it's not very pleasant taste. Nonetheless, eating the mishri, it's a remedy for the disease. And therefore, even though it is bitter, just now continue taking it. Eventually, the bitterness goes away and a sweet taste comes. And it's a sign of that one is getting cured. And same for the holy name. Maybe in the beginning, you don't have even time to chant japa in the morning, but you have time for so many other activities. But they're priority, right? You have time for playing something or doing something, watching something, but there is no time for japa. That's your priority. But eventually, if you keep at it, at least chant the minimum, whatever you decide you want to chant, and then you keep doing that every day, a taste will develop. You will develop a taste, and your priority will be changing. Then you will find that you want to chant in the morning. In fact, You will be very enthusiastic. You will want to chant. For that, you would be willing to get up early in the morning. So this is the power of the holy name. So let the holy name work on you. Try to do your best in the process, whatever you can in your situation. But try to be regular. If you can chant 1 round in the morning, okay, at least chant 1 round, but then chant every day. Or 4 rounds. Or 8, no, whatever it is. Set yourself a schedule and set yourself a minimum. How much are you willing to chant? And that many rounds you chant every day. It may be bitter. It may not be very tasty in the beginning. But push yourself. Do it. And you will see that eventually the sweet taste will come. Let it work for you. That's all. The holy name of Lord Krishna, his quality, pastimes, and so forth are all of the nature of absolute truth, beauty, and bliss. Naturally, they are very sweet, like sugar candy, which appeals to everyone. Nations, however, is compared to the disease called jaundice, which is caused by bilious secretions. Attacked by jaundice, the tongue of a diseased person cannot palatably relish sugar candy. Rather, a person with jaundice considers something sweet to taste very bitter. Avidya, ignorance, similarly prevents the ability to relish the transcendently palatable name, quality, form, and pastimes of Krishna. Despite this disease, if one with great care and attention takes to Krishna consciousness, chanting the holy name, and hearing Krishna's transcendental pastimes, his ignorance will be destroyed and his tongue enabled to taste the sweetness of the transcendental nature of Krishna and his paraphernalia. Such a recovery of spiritual health is possible only by the regular cultivation of Krishna consciousness. Practice, practice, and again practice. So we all have to adjust or even compromise our lives because we have desires, we have attachments. But let's try to maybe a little bit adjust. Let's try to a little bit control how much we are going to give to sense gratification and how much are we going to give for Krishna consciousness. So if it's so difficult to chant in the morning, you have to analyze it. Why is it difficult? Is it difficult? No, because you have no time, because you are in rush, no, to your work. Then get up half an hour earlier. Then you will have half an hour to chant japa. If you are focused in half an hour, you can chant 4 to 6 rounds. It's possible. Where there is a will, there is a way. And half an hour in the morning, if you get up half an hour earlier, it's not going to kill you. But it must be a desire. You must want to. So naturally, it will be easier if all of you get together and you push each other. Okay, by certain time you have to be up and you have to be there. So it's very nice, and if you are having some like a group japa, so then try. And if you are still too tired, and even the half an hour is not too, half an hour earlier is too much, then go to sleep earlier. After all, you have to really adjust your life. eventually you have to take up to Krishna consciousness. So when you are in such a life that you have to work so hard, at least try to find the minimum, whatever it is, to at least maintain your level of Krishna consciousness. So japa is very excellent tool to do that. And especially not together, that you are chanting. So try, see what you can do to make it happen. To continue, to make it, no, I would say at least half an hour a day. No, if you could get together and just chant, that will be very good. But ultimately it comes from you. If you want, where there is a will, there is a way. So try that. And then, as Srila Prabhupada says, yes, you try that, and then you will taste the sweet nectar. You will be able to realize Krishna's name, Krishna's form, Krishna's qualities, and his pastimes. Eventually, as you get to taste the sweetness of the holy name. But yes, I mean, it's, in the beginning, we are sick. So we need to get cured from that disease. So try working on it. And read and study Srila Prabhupada's books. That also gives you very much encouragement. When a man in the material world takes more interest in the materialistic way of life than in Krishna consciousness, he is considered to be a diseased condition. The normal condition is to remain an eternal servant of the Lord. Jivara Svarup, Haya Krishnera Nityadas. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya 20:108. This healthy condition is lost when the living entity forgets Krishna due to being attracted by the external features of Krishna's Maya energy. This world of Maya is called Durashraya, which means false or bad shelter. One who puts his faith in Durashraya becomes a candidate for hoping against hope. In the material world, everyone is trying to become happy, and although their material attempts are baffled in every way due to their nations, they cannot understand their mistakes. People try to rectify one mistake by making another mistake. This is the way of struggle for existence in the material world. If one in this condition is advised to take to Krishna consciousness and be happy, he does not accept such instructions. See, hoping that you'll enjoy in the material world, it's like trying to play some lottery. You go and buy a ticket. You're hoping you are going to win. But you didn't win. So next time, you buy again. And every day or every week, you buy a ticket, hoping that you will win. You hear of people who win. Oh, he won. Oh, so he won. I also must win. But it's hope against hope. How many people win, right? The lottery company makes the money. So they sell so many tickets, and only just some percentage, maybe 10-20% of what money they collect goes into the prizes. So the company makes the money of the foolish people who are hoping that they are going to be the one who win. So we are hoping that I'm going to enjoy this material world. Oh, I have to adjust this little thing. Or if I get more money, I will enjoy. So I should work harder to get more money to enjoy. It's hope against hope. Because you make a lot of money, and then some inflation comes and you lose the money. You cannot put really like a trust in the material energy. It's always something which doesn't work out. The best is to trust Krishna. This Krishna consciousness movement is being spread all over the world just to remedy this gross ignorance. People in general are misled by blind leaders. The leaders of human society, the politicians, the philosophers and scientists are blind because they are not Krishna conscious. According to Bhagavad Gita, because they are bereft of all factual knowledge due to the atheistic way of life, they are actually sinful rascals and are the lowest among men. Namam dushkritimo mudha prapadyante naradhama maya partagyan asuram bhavam ashrita. Those miscreants who are grossly foolish, lowest among mankind, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, and who partake of the atheistic nature of demons, do not surrender unto me. Bhagavad Gita 7:15. So, yeah. Then one should, if we are not willing to take up to devotional service, then okay, then let's start analyzing who are we? Are we the Mudas or Naradhama? It's for some reason we don't want to, because we want to enjoy. The propensity of the jiva to enjoy is natural. It's understood. Ananda. Jiva wants to enjoy, or jiva wants to be happy. So that's not wrong. What is wrong? To hope that we can enjoy in this material world. This material world is just like a place for playing. It's a temporary thing. You just use it. You can play. You can think that you are somebody whom you are not, like a little children. That's all. But the reality, where the jiva actually can be happy, it's not here. That's with Krishna. So we have one lifetime to convince ourselves that that's the reality. Such people never surrender to Krishna, and they oppose the endeavor of those who wish to take Krishna's shelter. When such atheists become leaders of society, the entire atmosphere is surcharged by nations. In such a condition, people do not become very enthusiastic to receive this Krishna consciousness movement, just as a diseased person suffering from jaundice does not relish the taste of sugar candy. However, one must know that for jaundice, sugar candy is not only specific medicine, is the only specific medicine. Similarly, in the present confused state of humanity, Krishna consciousness, the chanting of the holy name of the Lord, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, is the only remedy for setting the world right. Although Krishna consciousness may not be very palatable for a diseased person, Srila Rupa Goswami nonetheless advises that if one wants to be cured of the material disease, he must take to it with great care and attention. One begins his treatment by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, because by chanting this holy name of the Lord, a person in the material condition will be relieved from all misconceptions. Cheta Darpana Marjanam. Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya 2012. Avidya, a misconception about one's spiritual identity, provides the foundation for ahankar, or false ego, within the heart. So, very nicely explained, right? And as Srila Prabhupada said many times, ignorance is the cause of all sinful activity. And we know how it goes, right? We were discussing about anarthas. So due to ignorance, we do activities in ignorance. Sinful activities, pious activities. We commit sevaparat and we commit namaparat. And these four kinds of activities, they create anarthas. And these anarthas, if we feed the anarthas, they become stronger and they make us more conditioned. So it's up to us to decide whether we want to feed the anarthas and then hoping that we will get some enjoyment from it, or wake up and start to understand that this is not going to happen. And the only way how we can get out of it is to remove the anarthas. Cheto Darpana Marjanam. So from avidya, we should try to look for how to become educated. Drop the avidya and come to the platform of realization, Vigyan. The real disease is in the heart. If the mind is cleansed, however, if consciousness is cleansed, a person cannot be harmed by the material disease. To cleanse the mind and heart from all misconceptions, one should take to this chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. This is both easy and beneficial. By chanting the holy name of the Lord, one is immediately freed from the blazing fire of material existence. There are 3 stages in chanting of the holy name of the Lord: the offensive stage, the stage of lessening offenses, and the pure stage. When a neophyte takes to the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, he generally commits many offenses. There are 10 basic offenses, and if the devotee avoids these, he can glimpse the next stage, which is situated between offensive stage chanting and pure chanting. When one attains the pure stage, he is immediately liberated. This is called Bhavamaha Davagni Nirvapanam. As soon as one is liberated from the blazing fire of material existence, he can relish the taste of transcendental life. The conclusion is that in order to get free from the material disease, one must take to the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. The Krishna consciousness movement is especially meant for creating an atmosphere in which people can take to the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. One must begin with faith. And when this faith is increased by chanting, a person can become a member of the society. We are sending Sankirtan parties all over the world, and they are experiencing that even in the remotest part of the world, where there is no knowledge of Krishna, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra attracts thousands of men to our camp. In some areas, people begin to imitate the devotees by shaving their heads and chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra only a few days after hearing the mantra. This may be imitative, but imitation of a good thing is desired. Some imitators gradually become interested in being initiated by the spiritual master and offer themselves for initiation. If one is sincere, he is initiated, and this stage is called bhajana kriya. One then actually engages in the service of the Lord by regularly chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra 16 rounds daily and refraining from illicit sex, intoxicants, meat eating, and gambling. By bhajana kriya, one attains freedom from the contamination of materialistic life. He no longer goes to a restaurant or hotel to taste so-called palatable dishes made with meat and onions, nor does he care to smoke or drink tea or coffee. He not only refrains from illicit sex, but avoids sex life entirely. Nor he is interested in wasting his time speculating or gambling. In this way, it is to be understood that one is becoming cleansed of unwanted things. Anartha nivriti. The word anartha refers to unwanted things. Anarthas are vanquished when one becomes attached to the Krishna consciousness movement. When a person is relieved from unwanted things, he becomes fixed in executing his Krishna activities. Indeed, he becomes attached to such activities and experiences ecstasy in executing devotional service. This is called bhava, the preliminary awakening of dormant love of Godhead. Thus, the conditioned soul becomes free from material existence and loses interest in the bodily concept of life, including material opulence, material knowledge, and material attraction of all variety. At such a time, one can understand who the Supreme Personality of Godhead is and what is his Maya. Although Maya may be present, it cannot disturb a devotee once he attains the bhava stage. This is because the devotee can see the real position of Maya. Maya means forgetfulness of Krishna. And forgetfulness of Krishna and Krishna consciousness stand side by side like light and shadow. If one remains in shadow, he cannot enjoy the facility offered by light. And if one remains in light, he cannot be disturbed by the darkness of shadow. By taking to Krishna consciousness, one gradually becomes liberated and remains in light. Indeed, he does not even touch the darkness. As confirmed in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya 22:31. Krishna Surya Sama, Maya Haya Adhakara, Andhakara, Yahan Krishna, Tahan Nahi, Mayara Adhikar. Krishna is compared to sunshine, and Maya is compared to darkness. Wherever there is sunshine, there cannot be darkness. As soon as one takes to Krishna consciousness, the darkness of illusion, the influence of the external energy, will immediately vanish. Hare Krishna. So we did one text today. That's a progress. Any questions?
Yes. Hare Krishna. And from your devotees, so do we have any questions?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dhanvat Pranams.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, sorry, I will not be able to open my camera. Maharaj, I had one question from Bhagavad Gita. So, yeah. Maharaj, it is from 7.5. And should I read out the lines, Maharaj?
You can, yes.
Okay. Maharaj, I was not able to understand these lines. It says, the living entities who are exploiting these inferior energies for different purposes are the superior energy of the Supreme Lord. And it is due to this energy that the entire material world functions. Excuse me.
See, the jivas.
One more line, Maharaj.
Okay.
The cosmic manifestation has no power to act unless it is moved by the superior energy, the living entity. So, Maharaj, I'm not able to understand this, like how living entity is. It is due to living entity that cosmic manifestation is happening.
Okay. Yeah. Well, see, it's the jiva which is the superior energy. The jiva is part and parcel of Krishna. Okay? The jiva is Satchit Ananda. Even though in minute potency compared to Krishna or minute quantity, nonetheless, the quality is the same. Okay? Now, what is the purpose of the material world? The material world is created by Krishna through Maya for these jivas who would like to enjoy, who think about themselves that they are being Purusha. So somehow they want to taste what it is like to be Krishna. So that's why for these jivas, then Krishna created this material world. Do you want to taste how it is that you want to enjoy? Okay, so he created like a play field, just not to enjoy, at least to attempt to enjoy, to play, like a children. They go and they play in the sandpit, or they are playing, doing a theater, drama, right? So for the moment they are forgetting who they are, and now they take some other role on themselves. So the situation is created. So you want to enjoy, so then Krishna created the ultimate virtual reality theater or drama place or a sandpit, whatever you want. It's up to you. And you can take part in the play any way you want. You have 8,400,000 species of life. And each one has some advantages or disadvantages. And you can choose what you want to be. So which role you want to take in the material world. So it's only because these jivas desire that the material world is running. There's no other reason. So the material world is given the facility to the jiva to attempt to enjoy. But the lesson we should learn from it is it's not working. So much of endeavor to try to enjoy, and with the little enjoyment which we may get comes so much of suffering. I'm not for it, not anymore. I have realized that I don't want to take it anymore. I have enough of it. I'm sick of this material world. So develop desire not to be in the material world. And then you are freed. Immediately you can go back to Godhead. But as long as there are going to be jivas who don't think like that, they still are taking the gamble. They are trying to, no, I'm sure I can enjoy. I'm smarter than the nature. I'm smarter than Maya. So I can make it work. Hiranyakashipu thought so. Ravana thought so. But nobody ever made it. So that's why we should read. We should read books of Srila Prabhupada, read Ramayana, read Mahabharata. So many examples that great personalities and didn't work for them. So then what about us? So then we should just take up the chanting of the holy name, develop the desire. I don't want to be here anymore. Make this lifetime the last one. Bas, done. That's all. So that's the meaning of the verse. The material world runs because there are the jivas who want it to run. Like, why would plane be running? Why do trains going? Why do buses going? Because there are people who want to move from one place to the other. So you go there, you pay, and the bus, train, plane will move. But if there are no people, then what is the point of moving it? So the same way is the material world. As long as there are people, there's a demand for, then it's going to run. And unfortunately, there is constant supply of foolish jivas who think that, yes, now I will make it. So they have to realize it. Now we got such a great opportunity to associate with Srila Prabhupada through his books, to realize that this is not the reality. So we can make a change. We can take a decision to stop that, to stop the repeated birth and death, to stop now playing in this material world. We can do that. So now it's up to us to decide so, to do it, and we can be out of here. So that's what we should do. And Srila Prabhupada, not to help all of us to do so, then he established ISKCON, the society in which we can practice that. Associating, sadhu sangha, associating with each other, hearing Krishna Katha, chanting, japa, and seva. That's all. Just let's get into it. It may be bitter in the beginning because it will take time from activities which you are attached to, but tolerate it. It will become better. And then let the material world run, but without me, I don't want to be here anymore. And then you have made it. You have fulfilled the purpose of your life. Is it okay?
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you, Maharaj. Very nicely explained. Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Ronnie Prabhu, you have a question?
Yes, please. Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, thank you so much for today's class. It was very wonderful. And Maharaj, I have a question that, like as you mentioned in the class, that we should try to maintain a minimum standard, and also we should develop desire to develop a taste for the holy name, and also chant in the morning, and as much as possible, and also do it in group so that we all can push each other. But my question to you is that, like, I also face this this disease, that this thing of taste and all this, it keeps on fluctuating, and it keeps on fluctuating like big time, and like the graph goes up and graph goes down. So so how can I become that Vyavasayatmika Buddhi, or how can I reduce this fluctuation? So at times I feel, yes, it is okay, and then again there is a speed breaker, and then everything just
It's very natural. It's happening, and it may be happening for little more time. If you get some time, I would recommend you just look at Madhura Kadambini of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. He specifically describes that our service, our activities are anishtita, unsteady, and there are various levels of unsteadiness, and it's due to our anarthas, because we are conditioned by it. We want to get up in the morning. We have a desire to get up. But we may have anartha, I like to sleep. So the mind will just keep us in bed. We are so conditioned. We don't want to do nonsense, but because of our anarthas, whenever there's opportunity, we do nonsense. So, and because of the anarthas, desires and attachments manifest, and because of that, we are unsteady. Unsteady means that by intelligence I want to do something, but by mind I'm unable to do it. That's a problem. So we should come to the platform of Nishtha. From Nishtha, that's where the Nishtita starts. It's a service in steadiness. Bhaktivinoda Thakur comments that before Nishtha, the process is quite slow. Because we are so disturbed, distracted. But from Nishtha, the process is fast. Because the attachment to the material activities, it's minimal. It's under our control. So therefore, Nishtha means that I want to do something, and even though the mind can give a little bit of disturbances here and there, but I have it under control. I want to do, I will do. There's no question of not doing it. Anishtita means I want to do something. Oh, no, but no, I cannot do it. No, it's too difficult. I'm tired. I'm sick. Unsteady. So within that Anishtita stage, there are enthusiasm and depression, and again enthusiasm, and like phases. And more unsteady it is, then more the amplitude of the phases will be greater. Big enthusiasm and no enthusiasm. But as we are approaching the stage of Nishtha, then the unsteadiness becomes less and less. Is that clear?
Yes, Maharaj. But how do I do it practically? So that means I do it more like in.
See, when you are in the stage of no unenthusiasm, right? No, or the depression or whatever it may be, or just no, you want to give up, or it's too much, or you have so much burden on you. Association with devotees. Reading Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is full of stories where it's about the devotees who went through the same difficulties, but they overcome it.
Yes.
You see, Ramayana, Mahabharata, how much the Pandavas, how many difficulties they had to go through. And why? There was no good reason. They didn't do anything wrong. But still, they went through because Krishna was with them. Right? So they followed their dharma. So now we are not in as much difficulties as the Pandavas were. So our suffering is much less than theirs. So let's get over that. And it may be difficult for us as individuals, but it should be easier for us as a group. So that's why the association. So in that, we can help each other. And how? Again, darati pratigrihnati, gohimakti prichiti bhunkte bojayate. That works like magic. Create, again, if you can already, then have once a week sangha in somebody's house, distribute prasadam, take prasadam, have association. It creates miracles. This online, okay, it's something better than nothing, okay, but it doesn't give that. It's not the same. We should not rely on it. From now, we will do everything on Zoom. No, you need the association face to face. So when there's opportunity, no, then do that. Association with devotees and serving devotees, sadhu sangha, sadhu seva.
Yes, Maharaj. The practical things that you told, they were very helpful, like association of devotees and reading Srimad Bhagavatam. That really helps actually.
Yes.
These 2-3 things, they really are on that line. And also like having Sangha once a week. So these are
Indeed. And the sangha based on the loving exchanges.
Yes.
No, that's
Like-minded devotees.
very much.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so very much, Maharaj.
Hare Bol.
So all of us, we are very most thankful to Vardhan Maharaj for his kind association and also such pearls Maharaj shared with us in the lecture and also in the Q&A. So we heartily thank Maharaj by loudly chanting Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram.
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. So this Bhakti Arjava Priti Vardhan Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.